Mel Murda, aka Jamel Jones, aka
Oh, please, Judge. I'm sorry, Judge. I'm so sorry, Judge. I just want to get back to my kids, Judge. Don't lie. I'm a nine-trade blood, Judge.
has been officially sentenced and has received the minimum. He had mandatory sentencing and he's actually received a minimum of 135 months, otherwise known as 14 years. So to be fair to Jamel Jones, the begging paid off.
Please, Judge. Don't send me there. I need to be with my kids.
Now this is one thing that I don't rate. Now 14 years isn't that long. I believe he was looking at something like 30 or 40, but either way, 14 years ain't that long. But my problem is that these individuals, Mel Murda, they claim to be about it. They claim to be about the life. Now, when it came to it, the OG Mel Murda sent his begging letter in to the judge, begging for leniency, begging for mercy, pleading. At which point I questioned a whole lot of it, and this is why me myself, I'm not involved in a gang. Yeah, you could argue I've had a relatively sheltered lifestyle. That said, we're all men at the end of the day. At which point, and let's get it right, Mel Murda isn't an out and out street man. He's a music guy. Yeah, a lot of these music guys, they want to be us dudes. Yeah, rather than go into music, making your money and leaving the streets to it, they want to make the money in music and then go back in the streets. Same as Chris Brown, same as Tekashi to an extent. They want to mix themselves in with the street. Leave the streets where they are. There's nothing good there. Literally, nothing good there. Everyone gets gassed about, oh yeah, man, street rep. But the reason I'm doing this video is to explain it because everyone rants and raves about,
yeah, man, I got street rep.
but look at Jamel Jones. Where was his street rep when he was sending the letter into the judge begging him for leniency? Now, don't get me wrong. I do actually respect certain individuals. As an example, John Gotti Sr. John Gotti Sr., at the time he was sent down for life, was the boss of all bosses, the head of the Gambino crime family, which at the time was also the head of the commission of the five Italian families of New York. But the reason I'd say that is because when John Gotti, the boss of all bosses, the don of all dons, was sentenced to life, he took his bid. You don't see no letters of John Gotti crying about this.
I need to get back to my kids.
Now, don't get me wrong. Of course, John Gotti wanted to go back to his kids, but he didn't do no begging. He was a true out-and-out street man. Now, if those of you familiar with the case, was John Gotti a bit too liberal, speaking on the phones and getting caught on wiretaps? Yes. That said, whatever he talked on wiretap, whatever he got exposed by, whatever happened, guess what? When his life sentence came down, he didn't do no begging, he didn't do no pleading out, no pleading it. Straight, he fought the case like a man, he put his money in, got the best lawyers, fought it, lost, and took his bid. No begging by the judge, no plea deal. That there is a true gangster. No matter all the bad things John Gotti did, all the killing, all the badness he did, I can actually respect that. People who do the crime and do the time, they are true gangsters, and they actually deserve a level of respect. No crying, no pleading, no letter writing, no pleading out. But he did it. Does the crime, does the time. Now, people like Mel Murda, these wannabe ass looking dudes, yeah, who do the crime, get sent down, and then they want to cry,
oh, Judge, I just want to get back to my kids.
No, you should have been thinking about that when you was doing all the badness you was on the street, because when you was on road, you weren't thinking about being with your wife and kids, because you could have been there. You should have took your sorry ass home. And that's what frustrates me. There should be no writing to judges. There should be no pleading out. Why was Mel Murda the OG pleading out for? He should have fought the case, should he not? Pleading, copping a plea all of a sudden. And this is what makes me laugh, you know. It's like, with all these cases, you've got cases of police brutality, yeah? And what I've never understood is, when you've got these gangs, you've got black on black violence at an all-time high. Black people love killing each other, knifing each other. I'm from the UK, but same in the UK. Black youth love killing each other with knives, love gunning each other. But what I've never understood is, why is it, whenever it comes to the police or law enforcement, whenever law enforcement is being unjust, where are all them gangsters? Nowhere to be found. When there's brothers to be killed, when it's black on black, they're killing each other all the time. No problem about it. When it's over turf war, when it's over drug money, when it's over this, when it's over women, no problem. Killing. They've got all the smoke for that, all the time for killing each other. However, when it comes to retribution potentially for police on black crime, no one to be found. All of a sudden, everyone's lost all the smoke, lost all the weapons, and they're carrying signs. Oh, don't! They're marching on the street. What happened to all the ruthlessness? That's my question. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't gonna do it. I'm not a gangster though. These are meant to be the gangsters. Where is that same ruthlessness? Where is that same energy which you had for each other? You're good at killing each other. You're not so good at dishing out retribution where it's actually due. That makes sense. Black on black, no problem. Over stupidness, no problem. Everyone's ready to handle the beef with each other. But when there's bigger fish to fry, when there's institutional police injustice going on, that's going on untapped. Where's Mel Murda then? Where was all this foolishness? Where was all the kidnappings then? When there was when there's actually people out there who could do with some kidnapping. There's individuals out there who could have actually who kidnapping them needs to be done. Nowhere to be found. These OGs nowhere to be found. They're only about Mel Murda was only about when he was on road acting stupid. Yeah? No good. Either feeding drugs to the community, to his own community, or shooting up the community, or kidnapping random ass dudes. And this is why I don't have no mercy for these individuals, because they don't bring nothing good. Even all they did in music, I'm not too keyed up on what Mel Murda did in music, but the fact of the matter is, whatever Mel Murda did do in music, he could have took that and leveraged it into something good. Instead, like most of these guys, to be fair, same as Chris Brown, so all of them, Soulja Boy, they want to do something good in music, and all of a sudden start investing in stupidness. What for? And I'm not someone actually who preaches about, I'm not one of them preaching ass dudes who wants to come on here and tell everyone to give to charity, but still, why is it not enough to do well in music and mind your business? Instead, you want to do well in music and then start coming to the street and acting like you're something you're not. Because as I said before, if Jamel Jones, if Mr. Mel Murda himself, yeah man, I'm a non-trade blood. If I saw someone in the comments the other day saying, yeah man, Tekashi ain't gonna be safe. Tekashi don't want to mess with the Bloods. The Bloods won't do a damn thing, do you understand that? The Bloods will do not even one thing, because if they would do something, they wouldn't be begging the judge, they wouldn't be copping the plea. Yeah? Do you understand that? If Mel Murda was really about it, and he's meant to be the OG of all OGs. He's meant to be Mel Murda's meant to be the John Gotti of the 9 trades. That just shows you the difference in caliber there. Mel Murda weren't about it and he didn't even get life. He's only got 14 years. John Gotti was sent down for life. No pleading out, no snitching, no crying to the judge, no writing letters. Took his bid like a man and rode it until he died, incarcerated. Mel Murda crying and talking about kids and whatnot. And I wouldn't mind, but this isn't the first time. Mel Murda's been down before. At which point do you learn your lesson? It's no good. These guys are too good at doing badness, but they don't want to repent for their sins. You must repent, Mel Murda. You must. And for me, it's too easy these days to write a letter to the judge and plea out. There should be no pleas. There should be no writing letters. You did the crime, now do the time. Repay your debt to society. 100%. Now, like I said before, I've also got a level of... People say all the time, oh yeah, well, people have different upbringings. Of course they do. And like I said, I've got a certain level of respect. People who do things, if there's a needs must, I understand it. As an example, if you're broke from the street and you've got no other way and you have to do certain things, whatever, it's justifiable to a level. However, my issue is you've got these people in music who have made it out. They've made it out. They're free and laughing all the way to the bank. Instead, they want to come back. And then, when they get caught for coming back, no one asked Mel Murda to bring his old ass back to the street. What? You got Jim Jones as well, big hard about 50-year-old men still messing about with the streets, and then they're crying when they get indictments rolling on them, crying about it. Think about it now. But besides, as I was saying, what I don't understand is when Mel Murda made it in music, what possessed him to come back? But for me, that's why I believe they should be given big sentences, because the fact you made it out and still couldn't help yourself and still came back to do badness, stuff you had no business doing, 14 years ain't enough for me. You must go down for 20, 30 years, because you're clearly hard of hearing. You ain't getting it. You ain't getting it. Anyone who's that stupid to make money in other areas and decide to go back to the streets, there's something fundamentally wrong there. And clearly, the fact you're still begging, you weren't even about the life anyway. You're not really about it. You was a wannabe ass looking dude. That's what you was. Anyway, Mel Murda sentenced 14 years. Crying ass dude. He hasn't. Everyone who thinks the 9 Trays won't do a damn thing to Tekashi. Let's get that right. They're not an organisation. They're full of wannabe ass looking dudes. Jim Jones, informant. Mel Murda pleading out. Mel Murda crying to the judge. These are the OGs. Shotty crying. At the start when he thought it was all fun and games, what was he saying?
Yeah, man, we don't fold. We don't break. It's Treyway.
That's what he was saying at the start. What happened now? What's happened since? Crying when he'd been sentenced 15 years. Not about it. None of these dons are about it. None of them are real street dudes, like John Gotti. And I suggest, as a lesson for the youth going forward, start genuinely visualising life. Start thinking to yourself, you know what? When you shut your eyes at night, start actually, rather than looking at the little change in your pocket, because that's all it is at the end of the day, it's change in your pocket. You're doing badness to put change in your pocket. So genuinely, every night, sit on your bed and think how bad it's going to feel when you get a 20-year bid on your head. That's what's going to happen. You're going to end up dead or 20-year bid. Genuinely start thinking about it, because no one makes it out of this game. End of the day, no one does. No one makes it not even close out of it. So start thinking about where you're headed. Because when it comes, all that money it's going to get seized anyway. All your assets are going to be seized. And you're going to be in jail. And all your friends you thought you had, all your yuppie girls you think you had, they'll be gone. Long gone. And look at these dons like Mel Murda. Look at these wannabe ass looking dudes. That's what you'll be doing. You'll be begging. You'll be pleading out. So use them as an example. And it's not to say, listen, no one wants to work a 9-to-5 job. No one does want to do that. So I either suggest you find a way not to do that legally, or you get a 9-to-5. Either way, if you look at the earnings, even if you get a 9-to-5 job, yeah, in the long run, it pays 20-30 times more than badness does. Because for the badness, you might make a bit of money for 3 years, but guess what? You're going to go away for 20. It's much better to earn money for 25 years steadily than it is to make money for 3 years, get it all seized anyway, and be in jail for 30 years. Make your choice.